This is the beat to scream and shout. Come and get it, 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 come and get it. This is the beat to scream and shout. This is the beat to scream and shout.
Tell me that you're what I need now. I believe that when I see so. Time for you to show me. Hush your lips, stop your
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter vacation. I'm Izzy LaBeija. Today on Cut News 9, Pose FX. Ballroom's most anticipated show arrives this summer on the FX network. Be sure to check out Pose FX on social media platforms for show scheduling. Don't forget to hashtag BallTV for further information as well. Not counting on transgender people on the census for 2018, it's on its way for a new transformation. Options for both same-sex marriages will be able to apply for census in 2018. Lucia Lucas, transgender opera singer, makes U.S. history in Oklahoma. Lucia will star in Don Giovanni's opera. She'll be the first transgender to make the main stage, the U.S. I'm Izzy LaBeija, and you're tuned in to Cut News 9 on BallTVNetwork.com. Welcome to Ball TV Events. I'm your boy Izzy LaBeija. The Jungle Ball 2.0. MC Jack Mizrahi and Precious Ebony. DJ Vonalo on the ones and twos. Be sure to go on social media and check out the Jungle Ball 2.0. It's going down in Miami. Further information is on social media Facebook events page. Miami's annual Pop Ball, Power of the Pussy, presents Power of Pride. Pop Ball number 9, going down in Miami Pride. Don't forget, hit up OSO's page, or you can go to facebook.com and check out your local events page on the Jungle Ball and the Power of Pride Ball. All here on BallTVNetwork.com. I am your boy, Izzy LaBeija.
And thank you for stopping by Love Yourself Collection by Sarah J, where we make all your beauty dreams come true, just by a touch.
I have the most members and the most Venezuela. New York City is wrapped up in being our nation.
All right, welcome to Ball TV Live. I have the power of Pride Ball. We have the Pop Ball 9 coming up, and I also have OSO Milan here, getting ready to explain to you what's going on with this Pop Ball. Also, you there? Say what's up.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good, good. How's the weather down there? You're in Miami, correct?
Yeah, it's hot. It's warm right now. It's like 80 degrees.
Yeah. It's what? How many degrees?
80 degrees.
I know that's right. Good living, good living. Up north, they're getting snow. They are cringing.
I don't miss it.
I know that's right. But you know what? Let's talk a little bit about your fabulous, phenomenal, ongoing Pop Series Ball. How did you come up with this Pop Ball experience?
Well, I don't know if you remember Yendi Infinity. We were both Infinities about over 10 years ago. And got into the business of hosting balls. And it was something that we did. He came up with the idea of the Pop Ball. And she wanted something to be dedicated to femininity. Right. So the first Pop Ball was, the acronym stood for the power of the pussy. And the grand prize was between both femme, bring it, very pussy. Right. Winner of that ball was Slim Mizrahi. And then after that, it was such a good, we had such a good turnout that we decided to do a second one. And then we did a third one. And then I said, you know what, well, let's just keep doing it.
Oh, that's right. Wow, wow. I know I've started coming to your balls. I think it was the Pop Ball 7. Was it the 7?
Yeah, the one that you won't face?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Pop 7.
Yeah, I think it was the Pop Ball 7. I found the videos actually. Don't forget. Let me know. I gotta send you all the videos. I finally dug them out of my crates and I filed everything and I got everything organized. So I gotta send you them videos, by the way. It was,
okay.
It was phenomenal. I had fun. It was a beautiful setup. Everything was amazing to me.
Yeah, the venue was really nice. I love that venue.
Beautiful venue. Yeah, shout out to the venue. What venue was that again?
That was Club Bailo.
Right, right. Amazing club. It was beautiful. The scenery, the Art Deco all over the ceilings, the colors everywhere. Beautiful. 10s across the board.
Thank you.
Well, I hear you got another ball coming up, the Pop 9 ball, real quick. Let me put that flyer up for you guys. Tell us a little bit about the power of Pride this year in Miami.
So this year, I wanted to align the ball with my Pride, because I noticed that no ball host or no promoter had hosted a ball during Pride weekend. And every city in the United States has a ball during Pride weekend. So what I did, I'm going to throw the Pop Ball every year on Pride weekend now. So this is the first year that I'm doing that, Pop 9. And so the theme is going to be from here on in Pride or HIV and AIDS prevention. So I'm doing it on Saturday before the Gay Pride Parade is on Sunday the 8th. So our ball is going to be on Saturday the 7th.
Wow. I definitely am going to be there. I know everybody else is coming too. I hear a lot of folks are going to be there. And we have an announcement to make too as well that cannot be announced yet. But, you know, the girls do find out the tea here on Ballroom Scene Radio.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of things going on. Tell us a little bit about your categories. I hear you got some exquisite categories this year. We all up for a challenge.
Well, I have open to all realness for $1,000, and what I have is basically a bunch of different realness categories that are the winner for each and all of the realness categories will compete for $1,000. Then we also have open to all performance for $1,000 as well. This is the most money that the Pop Ball has ever given out. So we have $1,000 for realness, $1,000 for performance. We have, make sure I'm saying this right. We have $500 for open to all face. We have $250 for best dressed spectator and $250 for open to all runway. So basically, the winners of each of all the runway categories, the winners will compete for 250, and then the same concept for the realness categories and for the performance categories and the face categories.
All right, let's go back and let's take a break real quick. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Hello, and thank you for stopping by Love Yourself Collection by Sarah J, where we make all your beauty dreams come true, just by a touch.
We got some exclusive news coming up. Don't forget, I have also
On from Hard Rap, where our MC.
I have OSO Milan back live on air. And let's start off like this. Also let's get into some ballroom history. You've been walking balls for a long time, correct?
Since 2002, I believe. 2002.
Yeah, that's right. Congratulations, by the way. Let's start off, let's take a little recap. Let's rewind a little bit. And let's go back to, how was it for you growing up at home as a child? Way, way before all of the ballroom stuff came into play.
Well, I was born and raised in Miami, and my parents are Colombian. And I was raised in a household with a sister and two parents. And then my parents divorced. And we stayed in Miami the whole time, though. So I had a very good childhood. In the heat, I was always at the beach. So I grew up by the beach, basically. I'm a beach bum.
Ow, that's phenomenal. I wish I was a beach bum, honey, because all that New York City living, honey, that concrete jungle and stuff. It's crazy. No, but okay, cool. So your family was supportive of you, or?
Well, pretty much. I didn't really come out until I was 21.
Okay.
When I was in high school and through college, I had a girlfriend. So, I knew about my sexuality, but I was in love with a woman. And so I was loyal to her. And then after we broke up, I said, you know what? Now, since I'm single, I'm going to explore that other side of me. So I ended up coming out. Within 1 year, I pretty much turned my whole life around. This was like about 2001, 2002. I came out. There was this girl that I used to work with who introduced me to the ballroom scene. And she said, you know what? I see you in a house. And I'm like, what kind of house? Like, are you talking about a house, like with a door and windows? I didn't know exactly what she was talking about.
This is tea to me.
And then I went to a ball with her. It was in 2002, and it was Shake Fest in Miami.
Oh, wow.
And then when I went to that ball, it was my first time ever seeing a transgender woman. It was my first time seeing people competing, my first time seeing Vogue. And I had been a club promoter before that, so I automatically knew, I saw the business aspect of the event. And I said, you know what, I think I could do this. But I needed to walk first to get my name out there. And then that's how I got the itch of ballroom.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not know that. Crazy experience. We all have different roles. That's amazing. So what happened from there?
So from there, this young lady, her name was Evie, and she was in the House of Genesis. And she was the one who introduced me to everyone. So she introduced me to Angel. Angel is the person who became my gay father, Icon Angel Infinity. She introduced me to Vladimir Blahnik, rest in peace. She introduced me to Vanessa Mizrahi, Liliana Infinity, Jojo Infinity, Ebony, and all of these people are the ones who really molded me and you know took me under their wing to show me how ballroom is done in Miami.
Wow, those are some big names right there. You know, some of these ballroom children have been here for a long time, and some of them haven't lasted a long time. So we are very blessed to, kind of interact with some of these, uh, legendary and iconic pioneers from the scene from back in the days. That's crazy, right?
Right.
Wow. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, when I joined the ballroom scene in Florida, it was a totally different landscape. There was, the demographics were different, and I feel like it was more for fun. The people that used to walk 15 years ago, they got over it. They're not really walking today, and they only come out.
Sorry.
They only come out
You
to the
said they
pop
got over
ball.
it. Sorry.
They only come out to the pop ball. So this is why I continue to do it, because I know that a lot of the old school people in Miami, they will only come to a function that I host. And, I to me, it's something that's cultural, something that's artistic. It's an outlet for talent and art. So I like to host it so that people can keep coming back
Right.
and, teach the new generation how to do it.
That's what's up. Yeah, because we have experienced a lot of different, periods of ballroom, where it was flourishing. We've experienced the downfall of ballroom and the rebuild and the new foundation of ballroom, and not only that, but the innovation of ballroom has arrived as well, and that's crazy. We went from that to what we're doing now, live ballroom streaming on Facebook. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about, some of the clubs and the club scene. How did that come about? Like, what was the first club that you've attended, now that you found this lavish, new lifestyle and, all these new people with icons and pioneers? What were some of the clubs that kind of bring those memories back to you?
Well, like, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, before I joined the ballroom scene, I was a club promoter in South Beach. So I used to throw pretty big parties in the beach. I don't know if anybody's knows about the promoting life in the beach, but it's a very, it's big business because Miami's known for its nightlife. So I was a promoter at the legendary Warsaw Ballroom, at Salvation, Amnesia, and those are just to name a few. Some of the venues I took part of that. And then when I joined the ballroom scene, I started going to gay clubs, and one of the first gay clubs I went to was Twist in South Beach.
Oh, the legendary Twist. Woo! It's twisty, all right.
Yeah, which is still there. It's still
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's still there, standing strong. Beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful
yeah,
people. It just a lot of mileage to get there.
yeah. And another amazing club that I went to was Coliseum.
Oh yes, the Coliseum was nice.
Coliseum. Do you remember Coliseum?
Yes, yes. I used to come down to Tampa to my cousins, but this is where I was like, I had a lot of different people I had to hide. Some people I could be open to, some people I couldn't. Don't ask me how I pulled that off, but and when I used to come to Tampa, I used to have to hide it from my aunt and my uncle, and me and my cousin, he would take me out. And we would go to Miami, we would go to Tampa, we would go to, Georgia and stuff like that. And you know how that goes. You know, everything was like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, also one of my first gay clubs was the Saint in Fort Lauderdale. Actually, I think that was the first one, the Saint in Fort Lauderdale.
Right, right. I heard about that, but I've never experienced that club. How was the
Oh my
scene?
God. There was no other place like the Saint.
Wow.
It was like the Coliseum, but before Coliseum opened. And the Saint was amazing. It was like late '90s, early 2000s. That's when it was hot, and then it closed, unfortunately. Now it's a strip club.
Wow. Everything's a strip club nowadays, right? Wow. Legendary clubs of the Florida days. Wow. And this was the eras of what years again?
I want to say like 2000, 99, like 99, 2000, 2001, around there.
Circuit 99, 2000, 2001. Wow, that's an early era. That was almost kind of like the beginning time, right?
Yeah. Well, it was my beginning as far as gay life.
Well, for our era, right? Okay, so now how did you, okay, you said you were introduced to ballroom by Angel, Icon Infinity, right? And a female lady friend of yours. And so what was the first ball you actually attended?
The first ball I went to was Shade Fest in Miami, and it was November. This is how I knew I was going to be in this for a long time, because it changed my life. Like, what I saw that night was very impressive, and it was November 17th, 2002. I was just a spectator, but I really didn't know that I was going to become really good friends with a lot of people in this place. And you know what astounded me the most was the culture of family that at that time the House of Genesis and the House of Infinity had. And then all these other houses that I really didn't know, but the ones that stuck out to me the most was a house that I was there with, Genesis, and the House of Infinity, and how these people help each other. And, you know, are you okay? We're walking there. You know, it was just this culture of being there for each other that really intrigued me towards the scene.
Wow. How'd you get into the runway category? Or was that not the first category? Did you have other categories before runway came along?
Yes, before I became sassy, my first category was executive realness.
I know that's right.
And I walked it, I won it a couple of times, walked it several times. And one of my main rivals was at the time Labelina Ninja. We're both Milans now. But she was my rival.
You know, she's coming on the show this year.
Oh, good.
She's coming on the show. Yeah, I found her.
She definitely deserves to be in it.
She's stirring up New York right now.
Yeah, I know. So executive realness was my first category. And then I felt like it was too boring for me, but I hadn't learned runway yet. And then after the first ball where I walked runway was the Banji ball. And that was in 2003. And at that ball, I walked runway and bizarre. I got my 10s for bizarre, and I got chopped for runway.
Who doesn't get chopped? Especially when they don't know you. They're going to be like, child, who is this child? Even if you bring it, they're going to be like, child, we don't know her. Chop.
Yeah. Because, the scene gets very that, you know? Yeah. But in the first time I walked runway and stormed was in 2000. So I kept going to practices with the Genesis. And then I think the Genesis became part of the Infinities. So I migrated with the Genesis to the House of Infinity. And with the Infinities, I learned from Kayla Infinity, and I learned from Liliana Infinity. I learned runway. Wow. By looking, one of the things I love about the House of Infinity and about ballroom at large is that they taught me how to be confident, how to be confident in myself, and I applied that to all other aspects of my life today. So that's one thing that I really love. And then with the help of Liliana and Kayla, I learned runway, and then the ball. What ball was that? The Purgatory Ball, 2004, I believe. That was the first time that I walked runway after I had practiced so much. Right. And I won over like 8 people that ball. And I won grand prize runway. So I think that ball is...
You came back for blood.
That ball is where I solidified my presence in the ballroom scene. I'm here.
Wow. Beautiful stories like that is what this show is all about. So after that, did the shade come? No, just kidding. You know, because the shade is everywhere. You know, one of the things, you know, that you're always going to find at the ball is shade. But, you know, at the beginning, you know, it depends how you carry yourself, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So from there, what was your next step?
so from there, my next step was I want to throw a ball because I admired Angel so much. So and I saw that he did like at least at that time, it seemed like it was like this big thing where he was, I used to be a club promoter, so I approached him and I said, Angel, you do the same thing similar to what I used to do in the scene because I had left the promoting scene, and I said, I want to do this. So he said, okay, well, we spoke. I was already in Infinity, so he made me his official son, and he taught me exactly, what I needed to do to throw a ball. And I entered the ball in 2002, and by 2004, I threw my first ball.
Amazing.
Yeah, and
What was the turnout?
I was so motivated and determined. The first ball that I threw was the love ball in 2004,
Yes, I heard about that.
and to this day, I think it was one of the most attended balls. There's so many people there. Alex Infinity designed my flyer. He also DJ'd my ball. I believe Vladimir and Angel were the MCs.
Oh, I love
So,
Vladimir.
they
He was
they helped
always
me.
voguing everywhere. I know him from Crash in Queens. Oh Lord, we used to drink shots at the bar. Girl, we the ones who turned fag out into Butch Queen Vogue Femme. No, just kidding. We used to get drunk and Vogue all over the place. Vladimir, we carried.
I miss him so much.
We carried. I love him. I miss him. God rest his soul.
Yeah. There was a couple of advice okay, that I to this day I still use, and I think about him often. I really do.
Just jumping out of the seat and dipping and laying out right in the middle of the dance floor.
Practically.
I remember one time we were so drunk, we were kicking, and he got right on top of the bar, and he started walking runway on the bar and crashed. They was about to kick us out. He started kicking all the cups out the way and started voguing, dipped, landed in a makala. Mind you, he's a big boy on the bar. Jumped down, grabbed his little fanny pack bag, and put it on, and we all ran out the club. It was it was it was something to remember.
Aw.
The memories. Wow. So after this ball, how'd you feel about ballroom after that?
Well, the first ball that I threw was, I mean, talking about shade. I had announced the love ball months in advance, and then my own house father, Angel, he decided to throw a ball with Danny, at the time Cavalli, and they announced their ball 3 weeks before mine, and so you know how that goes. So they tried them at that time. I was just a beginner, and they were legends already. So they tried to convince me to postpone my ball. And I said, well, first of all, I already invested money in flyers, in the venue. So I'm not changing the date of my ball because I announced it first.
Right.
And I think they said they felt that they were gonna, since they were legends, they had more of a say than I did. And I told them, well, then may the best man win. And their ball was a success too, but my ball had a lot more people because it was better. And I think that after winning runway and then hosting that ball, that really was like, it was ball. To me, it was ball of the year because the attendance was, I think I probably had like over 500 people at the Polish American Club. So after that, like, I just said, you know what, I can do this. So then I started throwing more balls, and then later on in that year, 2004, I threw the first pop ball.
Oh, that's right. You know, the ball category itself is a category in ballroom, you know, and it's the same thing. Once you're taught, and you want to do it, they have to come test you because you have to, if you want, if that's what you want to do, you have to reign, you have to prove that you are that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's kind of cute. I think that was a cute little. I don't know what you call it though, but I think that was cute though, and you turned them out. That was amazing. Yeah,
Thank you.
that was amazing. So now, let's talk a little bit about, from your perspective, from when you came in, about the Florida ballroom scene. What kind of knowledge on history do you have on the Florida ballroom scene?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You know, from when you came in onto the scene, Florida's ballroom scene, what is some of the history that you know so far from the ballroom history in Florida, or some of the history that you've learned?
What is some of the history that I know about the scene?
Yeah, Florida's ballroom scene, the Miami
Well,
ballroom scene, actually.
well, in Florida, I know that when I entered the ballroom scene, it was predominantly Latino, Hispanic. Um, and I probably because it was new to me, but I felt like it was a lot more fun. Now it feels like it's a job almost. I'm actually surprised that I'm still doing this because a lot of my peers from yesteryear, they're no longer here. They're sad to say they've either passed away or they've just given up on ballroom. Because it's so political. So the history is, Lords Infinity, that rivalry between Lords and Infinity for years that maintained the ballroom scene to be very, very competitive and very hot.
Right, right.
Then in 2006, I moved to New York. So I tried to stay as much as active as I could. I became Father Infinity in New York. But then after I threw last pop ball in 2009, it had kind of like that was pop six and it had a low attendance. So I said, you know what, maybe I should give it a break because sometimes when you do something every year, it kind of becomes repetitive. So you have to give people a break at times. So I did that, and then I just started walking out of state and winning out of state. I became father out of state. I didn't forget about Florida because I would come every once in a blue, but I did other things. I started traveling a lot. I love traveling. That's just what I do every summer. So I started devoting my time and money to travel. So I gave the pop ball like a 6-year break until 2016.
So, yeah, you have to have a break, man. Even me, everybody was saying that I hung myself and I threw myself off a cliff because, I wasn't doing ballroom radio anymore. But in fact, I was just working on my craft, so I can bring it to the next level, which is this, you know. Um, you know me, I'm always doing those quirky little ideas on the side for ballroom. But that's just me. That's where I like to be at in ballroom scene.
It's good to take breaks.
Yeah, great to take break. I had a great break time and I got a lot to think about things and analyze things so that way when I do come back, I can bring it better and stronger, and I kind of know somewhat of experience to what I'm trying to do, you know. But
Good.
that's what's up. Anything else you have to say? I know you had to walk different categories besides just runway. I know there have to be more stories about ballroom and rivalry in OSO Milan.
Well, the category that I ended up becoming legendary for was bizarre, actually, and not runway.
Right, right.
But it's weird because in Florida, I'm known more for runway, but in New York or up north, I'm known more for bizarre.
Oh, we lost the signal. There
Hello?
you go.
Can you see me?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see you. I lost the connection.
It'll probably take a couple minutes to pop up on the screen.
Okay, so up north, I'm known more for bizarre, and then I ended up becoming legendary for bizarre. But other categories that I've walked executive realness, runway, bizarre, designer's delight,
Yes.
poses, and more poses. What else have I walked? I walked Team Runway, Runway as a House, Best Dressed Spectator, um, and then I think that's it.
Oh, that's right. Now, because I know some people, like I said, some people wish they could have all these categories that they could walk. Is it tedious? Is it hard to learn all of this stuff? In the ballroom scene, how did you find it difficult to pick this stuff up, or do you feel like you had it natural already, or what's your story?
Well, I think that um, as long as you know what, it really depends on who your teacher is. Because if you have good teachers, then they will mold good students.
Beautiful.
So I feel like I had really good teachers. I had um, I don't know if you remember Goofy. Goofy, I think the last house he was in was Ebony. But he taught me a lot in terms of talent, in terms of drive. He taught me to, he taught me a little bit of runway. He taught me a little bit of Vogue, and I've never really participated in a Vogue category. But I actually do Vogue a little. So he taught me a little bit of Vogue. Angel taught me as far as ballroom etiquette and ballroom promotions and ball throwing. He taught me that. Jojo did too. Liliana and Caleb taught me runway. So you see what I'm saying? Like it takes a lot of people to develop talent in that respect.
That's what's up. Now, how'd you become into the House of Milan?
So in 2010, in 2009, I left the House of Infinity. Um, just because I really didn't feel that connection with the New York chapter. And it became to a point where my life was in danger. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to be part of a house if my life is in danger. So I became a free agent, and then I linked up with Luna Khan. And at that time, he had just opened the House of Legacy. So I was a Legacy for 2 years, and that was a lot of fun.
Wow.
But then the house closed. So I said, that was 2010. So I said, okay, should I just leave the scene? And one of the people in New York that I became best friends with was Javier Ninja. So Javier Ninja said, hey, come with me to this club. I forgot what club it was. And there I met icon Hall of Famer Kevin Milan, who used to walk Old Way, and Julio Milan, who walked Executive Ruinous. And then when they both saw me, they started asking me about my ballroom history, and then I got to know them, personally. And then Kevin brought me to the first House of Milan meeting in 2010, and they had heard of me because I was walking Bizarre those past 2 years, and I had been nominated for of the year that year. So they voted me into the House of Milan unanimously in New York.
Wow.
With Stephanie there, and Roselo and Prince and Nadine, and they all used to be Infinity. So it was cool. And then after that, the rest is history. Then I just became a Milan. And then when I moved back to Miami 2 years ago, I joined the Florida dynasty of the House of Milan, and I love them so much. They are the epitome of what family is.
Oh, no, that's right. That's a beautiful thing. Because a lot of houses are still having structural issues today, and some are overcoming their structural issues today. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a better understanding and safety of houses in the ballroom community.
Well, I see it this way. I feel like every home has its turbulence, and the same goes for ballroom houses. They have their turbulence. Sometimes houses lose a lot of members, but if you think about it, certain names like La Beja, Chanel, Infinity, Milan, um, Ebony, Mizrahi, these are houses that, I mean, first of all, nobody is irreplaceable. Everyone is replaceable. So I'm never scared of losing members because we can always recruit new people. And if you get into the history of all these houses, they've been storming for over 2 decades.
Right.
So
Right, and generations are going to continue coming and change. It's going to continue coming into the scene. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It depends on how you want to look at it.
correct.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
Um, no, not right now off the top of my head, no. Oh, if you want me to announce the venue for the pop ball.
Actually, I was just getting ready to go into that. That's why I was trying to prompt you. But I want to go into, one of the specific things that everybody's always asking me about here on the show is we need some timing, we need some structure, we need to know what time exactly is the ball and the categories are going to be called. Some people are looking into putting little times besides the category. I said, well, past history balls are not going to go according to time. You can try to plan it as much as you want, but it's just not going to happen that way. But people can try. I would love to see the house that can achieve that. That would be amazing if you can. But give us some structural time on the ball. Give us the location, pricing, all that.
Okay, so the ball is going to be at the Renaissance Ballroom. I hosted a ball at the Renaissance Ballroom in 2005. It was called the Alliance Ball,
Right.
and the venue is beautiful. So formerly, I had planned to do the ball in Fort Lauderdale. Actually, I had planned to do it in Miami because it's Miami Pride weekend, but we couldn't find a venue in Miami. So we booked a venue in Fort Lauderdale, but then we were iffy about the venue, and a couple of incidents happened. There was a mini ball that was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago, and it didn't happen because the manager or the owner just said no. So that we became very alarmed, and so, so we've been hunting. Me, Johnny, and Cash have been hunting, and we found. I reconnected with the Renaissance Ballroom. It's on 8th Street and 59th Avenue. The exact address is 5910 Southwest 8th Street, Miami, Florida 33144. The ball is going to open at 4. So LSS is probably going to be from 6 to 7. And then by 7 p.m., we need to have category number 1 going because we have, as according to my order of categories right here, we have 20 plus 18. That's 38 categories to go through.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
I know these are the most categories I've ever had at a ball.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed a lot of this. There's a lot of categories on there that are OTA, open to all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because most of the categories, the winner will go into the grand prize. That's for cash.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Explain that to some of those folks out there who's tuning in because some people don't understand it.
Okay, so basically we have open to all arenas for $1,000, right? So for open to all arenas, under the so basically when you throw a ball, you have to cater to all people who compete, all competitors, so and all genders. So when throwing a ball is actually a lot of work, and it's a project. It's a project. It becomes like your baby, and you start to nurture it, right? So when you start writing up categories, I draw like a little diagram where it says all the genders on one side, and then at the bottom, all the different categories. So for example, all the Vogue categories, I have to make sure that I have Vogue categories for each gender. Then the next category, the next, I guess, bracket of categories would be fashion categories. For the fashion, I got to make sure that I have all genders. Sometimes sometimes I put open to all, so that all the genders can participate in that bracket, and that way it limits me of having to do a category per bracket per gender. I don't know if you understand that.
And I wanted to congratulate you. I wanted to congratulate you on that too, because I believe that if you're going to throw an open to all category at your ball, you have to specify a prize for every gender because it turns into a floppy mess. And a lot of
Right.
a lot of the kids, because not everybody is throwing their balls elaborately like this, but they are, using ballroom as a way to throw their balls. But then their system don't when they come into our state or other states not understanding how this OTA thing works. Because in other balls they've had one prize for the last man standing.
Right. So for this ball, what I'm doing is I have open 12 units for $1,000. But in order for you to qualify for the $1,000, you have to walk an individual realness category. So one of the realness categories is, for example, town and country realness, which I haven't seen in eons. And there's a butch queens can walk it and femme queens can walk it, and there will be a trophy for each. And then it says you're an upper class individual who has come to the ball to storm. So basically, you're coming up as a prep, somebody who's preppy, somebody like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like Carlton, for example. But you must look real. So the two winners for that particular categories have to stay, and then they compete at the end of the ball for the $1,000. Another realness category is church lady realness. So that's it's a butch queen up in drags or femme queen realness category. And it says a furious mother storms the ball looking for her recently outed gay son. Poor mother, she's about to stumble upon a pride function. So basically, you're coming out as like either, just like a church lady. You have to have like a church attire.
Sounds like a kiki to me. I know that's right. All right, we're about to get close to the end of the show. Any shout outs you want to give? Any love you want to spread out there to anyone who's tuning in?
I want to give a shout out to my father, Icon Angel Infinity, for always being there for me. I mean, this is an individual who's from day one has taken me under his wing. And as far as ballroom, I am who I am because of him. I also want to give a shout out to Icon Ross Infinity, rest in peace. Yeah. Because when I moved to New York, he perfected my path as far as art. I want to give it a shout out to Icon Baron Milan. He pushed for me to become a legend, and to Jojo Ebony, he's like, I see Jojo as like godparent. Shout outs to Vanessa Mizrahi for always being an amazing individual towards me. Liliana Infinity for always being my mother. And the Florida Milan dynasty, they are amazing. They are the epitome of family. And I think that I'm still here because of that dynasty. And because of Milan, I am still here in the ballroom scene.
Wow. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Izzy, for having me.
You're welcome. No time. Don't forget, the Pop on 9 is going down. Let them know.
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
I'm planning for the 10th anniversary of the Pop Ball. Next year, 2009, Miami Gay Pride. Okay. First weekend of April, we're going to have the 10th annual Pop Ball. So I'm not going to say anything else. I'll release that information in this coming ball.
I know that's right. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
All righty. So I'm going to let you go real quick, but we'll be right back right after these messages. All right, OSO. We are going to play Wheel of Status. Here you're going to have to decide to solve the puzzle before the last letter comes upon the board. Are you ready? Ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. This one's going to be a quote. And it's going to be from Paris is Burning, okay? So let's start.
Okay.
think?
I think it's hello. This is Venus Express. Let's talk about reading.
I know that's right. Did you guess that it was gonna be that?
Yeah, pretty much because I count the letters, so it's all about numerology.
All right, cool. That was the starting round. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get ready to go play a real round now. That was just an icebreaker.
Okay.
You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna spin the wheel. You're gonna tell me when to stop, and then we're gonna figure out which ball are you going to walk. Are you gonna stay local? Are you going to go state to state? Are you going to be country to country? Or are you going to become a pioneer in your early terms of ballroom? You ready to play?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Stop.
All right. You get to go to Paris, and they're calling you out at the Paris ball. Here's your chance to become a statement or make a star entry at the Paris ball. All you have to do is get one letter on the board. Pick a letter.
Let's go with A.
A. All right. You got two letters, so let's spin again. You ready? Tell me when to stop.
Yes. Stop.
Oh, the girls in India are calling for you. They want to know if you're ready to win grand prize in the India. All you have to do is get one more letter.
Let's go with I.
No, that's right. All right, you get to spin again. All right. You went on a shopping spree and spent a little too much coin. All right, so you get to spin again. You ready?
Yeah. Stop.
All right, you get to receive your icon status in India. All you have to do is get one letter right on the board.
Oh my God. Ain't that fierce?
I know that's right. Yes. All right, that was a cute little round.
That was good. I like this game.
All right, you want to play one more round?
Sure.
All right, bet. This one is going to be a quote from 1969's drag pageant. So we're going to reopen the category. Let's spin the wheel.
Stop.
Oh, you went back. But you get to spin again. Ooh, the girls are calling you in New York. They said, child, they don't never ever want it with the New York girls. Are you ready to fit in with the New York girls? All you have to do is
Been
get
there.
one letter on the board. Correct.
So say a letter, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go with E.
All right, you got two E's. All right, you went back on a shopping spree, honey, and the girls mopped your floor. They tried you, honey. They set you up for a robbery. But you get to spin again because you found the credit card.
Stop.
All right, they called you back out to New York, girls. They said they was tight that you stole grand prize, but you're not going to get it tonight. Pick a letter on the counter, and you can stay in the New York category.
A. Okay.
No, that's right.
Stop.
All right. Hawaii says you're going to be the pioneer if you can throw this ball like your legendary pop ball in Hawaii. If you can make it pop, you get to be the pioneer of Hawaii's ballroom scene. All you have to do is get one letter right on the board.
Oh my God. All right. Let's go with S.
In that wheel. Italy. The girls in Italy said they heard about what you did in India, and they're not happy with their sister country, girl. They want you back to battle. All you have to do is to stay in the winning lane is get one letter correct. Pick a letter.
I.
All right. Take a look at the board. Japan. Japan wants in on the action also. They want you to pick a letter on the board. Get it right and you won't get chopped.
Oh my God. I don't know what it is. Okay, so a letter. All right, so let's go with T as in Tom.
All right. Now remember, this is a quote from 1969 drag pageant. Oh, you won grand prize. You get to pick a letter. Even if it's a wrong letter, you still won grand prize.
I know it has to be Crystal LaBeija because that's the only one that I can relate to 1969, but I can't see what the quote is. Let's go with H, as in hamster.
All right. Go back and spin again. Oh, the Caribbean is calling you once again. We need more pioneers to spread out, says the ballroom commissioner. He says, also, please set new boundaries around the world. Please get a letter correct on the board so we can create a new ballroom scene on the planet.
Oh my God. Hold on. Can we do L as in Larry? I can't see where the other L was.
Costa Rica. Honey, the girls in Costa Rica said we just started a ballroom scene, honey, and they are already calling you out. They want to know if you can get a letter correct on the prize to stand up.
Let's go with B as in boy.
All right, 2 B's. Let's spin again. Japan is calling you back. They want vengeance. They are not happy that you took and slayed the runway. They need one letter on the board to get you on that flight back home to safety.
U. Oh my God. But she, I want to play her song right now.
All right, let's spin. All right. You just won star status. All you have to do is to receive that star plaque is get a letter correct on the board.
Shit. Do you think you forgot a T? Because I have a T up in butt, but there's no.
Oh, there you go. You got the T in the butt. And there's another hidden T.
Where was the other T?
Right here. At the bottom.
Oh, I can't see the whole. I can't see the whole picture. But she. I can't see the whole thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can see it this way. There's like a box blocking the rest of the thing. Of
Tap
like
on
the
square. There's a little square on the icon when you tap on the screen to make that box go away.
The square.
Like a green square.
Oh, I see. But she. Let me see. But she. Oh my God! I listened. But she wasn't looking beautiful tonight.
I know that's right.
You know what it was?
All right, so you won the grand prize, honey. How was it? Was that intense?
Yeah, but you know what? There was something on the screen blocking half of the thing, and I didn't even realize it.
Oh wow!
But she wasn't looking beautiful tonight.
That was a good game. So how
That
did you
was
like
cute.
it?
I loved it.
What is it? Was it as intense as walking a ball?
No.
No. I know that's right. All right, cool. So we'll be right back right after these messages.
Ballroom Radio is sponsored by the House of Ninja, House of Blonic, House of Ultra Omni, House of Extravaganza, House of Infinity, House of Milan, House of Latex, and of course, the one and only, the legendary House of Stars. Special thanks to Danny Stretch Ninja, DJ Frankie Paradise, Steve Gonzalez, DJ Chip Chop Ninja, legendary Jay Blonic, Icon Kevin Ultra Omni, Icon Angel Infinity, Icon Baron Milan, legendary Mother Power Infinity, and of course, Icon Grandfather Hector Extravaganza. Tune in every week at 9 p.m. for the hottest station on the internet nation, ballroomsceneradio.com.